Okay, we're going to start by describing what you're seeing, the layout, and we're going to work on it together. If you notice that on the top we have 3 unhealthy feelings. We have anxiety, frustration, and depression. And on the bottom are 8 healthy feelings: love, anger, sadness, hurt, shame, pride, pleasure, fear. Those are healthy feelings. The table is also divided into sensations and thoughts. The sensations column means what does it feel like physically in your body? The thoughts column means what do you think in your head? So this is divided into healthy feelings and unhealthy feelings, and it's also divided into physical feelings versus thoughts that are in our head. Now we're going to go down and focus primarily on the sensations column. So we're going to go down the list and describe each feeling and what does it feel like physically in our body. So let's start with the physical sensations of anxiety. When you feel anxious or nervous, what does that feel like physically in your body? Shaky, tense, increased heart rate, sweaty, short of breath, restless, keyed up, butterflies or knots in your stomach. These are some of the physical sensations that you might feel when you're anxious. In our mind, we go through all kinds of thoughts and worries about what if all kinds of bad things might happen. Frustration will be easier to discuss after we clarify some of the other feelings first, so we'll go to depression next. And when people are depressed, what does that feel like? Low energy, fatigue, withdrawn. Hopeless, helpless, and worthless are both physical and mental. Trouble sleeping, fatigue, and feeling like isolating are physical. Do you have a picture so far of the physical feelings that come when you're anxious, or the physical feelings when you're depressed? You want to be able to separate the physical part from the thinking part. We will be dealing with thoughts one way and with feelings another way, and it's important to separate which is thought and which is feeling, even though it may seem obvious at first. Next, we will continue down the list. Next is love. When you feel love, think of someone you love, and when you see them, what do you feel in your body? What do you feel like doing? Warm and fuzzy feelings, butterflies. You might feel like hugging, or feel like helping or doing things for the person, or you might feel like being close. Those are feelings in the body. If you look in the left column here, love has to do with closeness and compassion. Next, we are going to go to anger. When we feel angry, what does that feel like physically in our body? Think of the last time you felt angry. What did you feel like doing? People commonly describe that they feel like hurting somebody, feel like getting revenge, feel controlling, feel hot or boiling, like their blood pressure's going up. They feel like yelling or swearing. They feel like throwing or slamming or hitting. These are physical feelings. I'm not saying it's okay to do these things. I am saying it's okay to be angry and to feel like doing these things. When you feel like throwing something or hitting someone, it's okay to feel that way, but it's not necessarily good to do it. Anger has to do with protest. Protest means I don't like this, something's wrong. These physical sensations in the body that we're describing are impulses. Impulses make our body feel like doing things. We must learn to recognize these impulses, listen to what they're telling us, and decide if, when, and how to act on them. Now that we've clearly defined the sensations of anger, we can back up and look at frustration. When we feel frustrated, what do we feel physically in our body? Feels like we're trying to do something, but something's in the way. We feel stuck, helpless, dead end, can't do it. Feels like we're restrained, tension, trapped. Sometimes we feel like crying. The crying are tears of helplessness. Anger is feeling like you want to lash out at someone. Frustration is when you feel stuck or helpless. Anger says protest. Frustration says stuck. It's important to know the difference between anger and frustration, but often they can come together. As we go down the list of healthy feelings, if you answer with tension or helplessness or hopelessness or worthlessness, you're experiencing one of the unhealthy feelings. The healthy feelings come with clear impulses which do not contain these symptoms. Next, we're going to go to sadness. When you feel sad, where do you feel that in your body? It's in your heart. What does it feel like in your heart when you're sad? It feels like something is missing, like an emptiness or loss, like a piece of you is missing. And that is physical. When we're sad, we can feel like crying. Feels empty. That's the difference between sadness and depression. It's normal to feel sad. Sadness is loss or grief or mourning. Some people think that when they cry, quote, "Don't cry, it won't bring them back," or "Crying is for babies," or "Stop feeling sorry for yourself." So part of what we're doing is to look at what we feel in our body versus what we think. To learn to identify what we feel, validate it, express it appropriately. We also have to look separately at our thoughts and beliefs as they guide us in what we do or don't do with our feelings. We're going to go on next to hurt. Hurt is a little like sadness, and it's a little complicated. Let's see what we can do. When you feel hurt, someone hurt your feelings. Where in your body do you feel that? That's also in the heart. What does it feel like in your heart when you get hurt? It feels like someone stabbed you in the heart, or we feel wounded or injured. Emotional hurt is a feeling of wanting to cry. It's also in the heart, stabbed in the heart, rather than a feeling of loss, which is sadness. When we feel hurt, what is our body telling us? Watch out, we've been hurt or wounded, injured somehow. Next, to shame. You've done something really silly, really foolish. People are laughing at you. What do you feel like doing? We feel like hiding, shrinking, disappearing, or like curling up. Those are physical feelings. Shame has to do with becoming very small or not having anyone see us. Those are physical feelings. When we're feeling shame, what is our body telling us? It's telling us that we've done something wrong, that we've made a mistake. It's a realization. People are ashamed often when they didn't really do something wrong. For example, when they weren't responsible for someone else's actions. Whether shame is appropriate or not, it still feels the same physically. It feels like you want to hide. Next is pride. When you feel proud, you've done something really well and you feel proud, what does your body want to do? We feel like puffing out our chest, telling everyone what we did. We feel like walking tall, like boasting or bragging. That's the feeling of pride. We feel like celebrating. Those are normal, healthy feelings of pride. When we feel pride, what is our body telling us? That you did good. That you did a good job. It's important to listen to that. It's okay to feel like boasting, although not necessarily okay to act that way. Next we go to pleasure. Think of something that's pleasurable. And when you feel pleasure, what does your body feel? What do you feel like doing? We feel like jumping around, we feel like dancing or skipping, we feel like smiling or laughing. It means we like it. We feel light and relaxed. When our body is feeling pleasure, our body is saying, I like this, this feels good, I want more of this. Last on the list is fear. When we feel fear, there's a rattlesnake at your foot. What do you feel like doing? You feel like jumping or running out of the way, or you can jump at it or attack. When you feel fear, your body is getting ready to run or jump out of the way or to attack, and that's called fight or flight. Those are physical impulses. That is fear. What is fear telling us? Danger. See the difference between fear and anxiety? Fear is a preparation to act on a known specific threat. Anxiety is much more vague, diffuse, paralyzing, and dysfunctional. There is no specific threat. So we now have our list, and each of these feelings tells us something important, don't they? And you have to learn to listen to these feelings and tell them apart. By understanding our healthy emotions and impulses, we can make better decisions. And as we can see, there's a lot of physical energy in these impulses, which we're feeling all the time. Where does that energy go when we don't acknowledge or don't deal with our feelings or hold back our feelings? It turns into the big T word, tension. When we learn to acknowledge, deal with, and release the healthy feelings in safe ways, tension will be significantly reduced.